Hello to all my single mamas and papas out there. My name is Sheila Ann Gwayambade, a single mother of two here in Uganda. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Soul Parent Assembly, SPA for short. And this is a place that we have created for all single parents to come and share advice, get some tips, and find encouragement. But most importantly, to know that no matter where you are on your single parent journey, you are not alone. So, welcome. Feel free to subscribe and press the notification button so you don't miss any new videos that I will upload. I am here every week and I'm hoping that you will be joining me. Now, today we are going to be talking about the subject of faith and single parenting. Now, I don't know where you are in terms of your faith. I'm a Christian and I know that I have been able to survive my journey of single parenting by the grace of God. I know that that has been my experience. Now, I do realize that there are many single parents who don't conform to that. And if you are figuring out your single journey in any other way, please feel free to comment, to put it in the comment below and let me know how you're doing it, because I don't know that, I cannot imagine, let's say that, I cannot imagine how it would be like to do your single parenting journey without faith. And at this point, when I am talking about my faith, I am sharing it because it has been such an anchor for me, and I am here to share the things that have been useful to me on my journey. So I wanted to share that with you in case you find help and encouragement in that. I want you to know that that is absolutely an option you have, and I wanted to share how I've used my faith to enable me to do my single parenting journey. Now, starting at the beginning, I have had quite a journey of faith per se, especially when you're talking about becoming a single parent after being divorced, and that is quite taboo in many of our religions, and even especially in Christianity. I don't know about others, but I thought that I could not be a single parent and still have grace like that. I felt like I was signing up, and this was very early on before I started processing this situation. I felt like I got myself into this marriage. If I get myself out of it, then I am on my own. And honestly, God has been so merciful in that I haven't felt like I have been on my own, except, the days when you sulk and woe is me and nothing is going my way. We have those days. But for the most part, my journey of faith has been an anchor. And some of the benefits that I have seen with that, which is what I want to share with you, has been the fact of growth. I have been forced to grow up. I've been forced to grow up every day of my single parenting journey because of my understanding of who I am and whose I am. Having such a solid identity has meant that there are certain things I just can't get away with, for example. And growing into the person that I believe that I am called to be has taken me on many journeys. One of them is being here in Uganda. Another one is starting the organization, the SPA. Another one is this YouTube channel. All of these are stages of growth, because what I'm doing here now, I would not have been able to do 5 years ago or 7 years ago when my daughter was first born. But I have had to grow. I have had to grow in terms of how I relate to people. I have had to grow in terms of how I relate to my children, in terms of how I look at my situation, in terms of how I cope with difficult things. My faith has constantly challenged me to ensure that I am not stagnant, that I am constantly growing, and that has been a real benefit for me. The other thing is that it's given me a blueprint, because you know how we say that with parenting there is no book on how to do it. I feel like I have been really privileged in that, because I have had a blueprint. I know the things in terms of my life and the life of my children, considering what should be important, what shouldn't, what I should be focusing on, that sort of blueprint, what is acceptable, what is not. In terms of how I look at discipline compared to how my parents looked at it, through the lens of my faith, that has been different. So how I discipline my children is definitely different from how my parents disciplined me. What I discipline my children for is also different from what my parents disciplined me for. It does seem like my children are getting away with a lot more, but I have a clear vision of what it is that I am trying to accomplish, and where I'm trying to make sure we go together as a family. And that is based on the blueprint that has been given to me. That has made it easy, that if I spend time in the Word, if I spend time reading and understanding God's Word and what it talks about me, my faith, and His plans for my children, and how His ultimate plan is for us, then I understand how to walk, and I understand why I do the things that I do. I'm more intentional on my single parenting journey. The third thing that it has given me is confidence. I have had an uncommon level of confidence on my single parenting journey. Mostly it has been worrying for the people around me, because they have believed that at this point I should be unstable. Like, if you do not have a man per se, husband, boyfriend, so on, and you have children and you are living at home with your parents, then you really have nothing to be confident about. But I know that I have made choices, like the choice to come home and go live with my parents. That is a choice that I made, and I made it for a reason. I know that it is good for my children to be surrounded by as many people as they can, who love them and support them. I know that it's good for me to be able to have that level of support system. I truly do believe that children need a male role model in their family, and even if it's not their father, they should be someone. And my dad is fantastic. I love him. So I was like, the job is yours. So they have a fantastic male role model. They have a fantastic example of a family and what that looks like. So it's not just colored by my experience and their experience with me. And I absolutely want them to have that. I want them to see what a healthy relationship looks like, so that the issues that they witnessed with my marriage or my relationship are not the only picture they have. It's not the only picture they've grown up with. So I was absolutely intentional. So I have no guilt or negative feelings regarding living at home with my parents. I am very clear, and so that gives me confidence. I don't feel ashamed about it, or about the situation or anything. I'm fine. And knowing that my children were not my plan, understanding that these children were supposed to be here, that God had a plan for them, and His plans always come to pass. Understanding that that no matter what I do, obviously understanding that I will do my best, but who they become and the ultimate goal of who my children become is not up to me, and they will become who they are called to become regardless of me, or because of me. but it is not up to me. Like my example is not going to color that. I could set a bad example and they could do well because they'd be like, I never want to be like my mother, for example. Or I could set a fantastic example and they'd be like, I want to grow up to be exactly like my mother. We all hope for the latter, of course, but I do understand that these children are I'm just stewarding them. I am here to do a job, to take care of them as best as I can, but the ultimate end of their lives, their path, their calling, their purpose is not up to me. That has been ordained before the world began, and that helps me to relax a lot more, because what is the point of stressing over things that already happened? Their futures have already been decided, and I believe that, and that gives me so much peace in knowing that I can only go so far in messing them up. They will automatically become, sorry, not automatically, they will eventually become all that they have been called to become. And I also find comfort in the fact that everything that I have been entrusted, like this is a trust, this is a secret trust. Having these children is a secret trust. They have been entrusted to me for a reason. There is something in me, about me, that can be of benefit to these kids. There are many families that are unfortunate and haven't been able to have children, but I have been given that. And so it fills me with gratitude, and I view my children very differently through the lens of my faith. Now, that all sounds great, but it hasn't been without its drawbacks. And what I have found that have been the challenges of faith has been, one, loneliness, especially at the beginning of my separation, because, like in our culture, they say the best way to get over someone is to get under somebody else. I couldn't get under anybody else. That's just not how we don't play those games. So I had to sit in it. I had to sit in my pain, and I had to sit in my mess, and I had to work it out and live it out and work it out and open it up and open the scabs, make sure they're healing well. And it got messy. The healing process was messy, and it would have been easier to find somebody else to sweet talk me and tell me how pretty I am and how smart and how much everything is going to be okay. But no, I couldn't do that. I had to sit in it. And that was not fun. That was really, really challenging, having to face my mess and understanding that is not the time for distractions. That's not the time to jump into another relationship. There's work that needs to be done. There's healing that needs to be done. There's a future that needs to be secured for me and my girls. And a relationship is not a priority right after a divorce. That I found really challenging and quite lonely. The other thing that I find really challenging is constantly being pushed out of my comfort zone. Being challenged constantly in how I'm parenting, being challenged constantly in how I'm living my life and the examples I'm setting, being challenged constantly in whether I'm doing enough or if I'm growing, if I am having to check myself with every response, with every action. That is really challenging. Because sometimes you just want to do things and shrug them off, but no, have you forgiven? Is that a thing that has happened? Will the fact that you have unforgiveness or bitterness hinder your prayers? And you need your prayers. I need my prayers to be answered because they are my anchor. They're what I'm standing on, like, Lord, get us through the day, get us through the week, the month, the year. Just do it, please. And if at any point I am not what I know I should be, I do have to consider the consequences of that, and that is challenging. The other thing I found challenging is the imposed restrictions, both self-imposed and biblically imposed restrictions, in terms of the things I can and cannot do. Those have been really challenging. I understand the benefits. There has been a period of time where I felt like, Oh my God, Sheila, you're on a leash. And it's a short one. Uh, and everything within me wanted to rebel against that. Like, I can choose what kind of mother I want to be, the kind of life I want. I need to go out. I am single after a very long time. I should be able to have fun. And I want to have fun and I want to have a lot of it. But that leash was short. It was, it was a, it was a very short leash. Yeah, it has loosened a lot now. But I didn't understand. I felt so untrusted. Like, what do you think is going to happen? I found out after the leash was lengthened a bit, that I am a challenge all by myself. I did need the leash. I did need to curtail my behavior. I did need to curtail what I do and where I went and how often I went there and who I went there with. Basically, I am a big child and I still needed the leash. And I feel better now, and I understand why it happened then, why I felt so restricted then, because I was so vulnerable, that I was ripe for all manners of nonsense. And I am so grateful that I was obedient for that time to the restrictions that were imposed, both biblically and self-imposed, because it has helped my journey of healing to occur much more quickly, and I am truly grateful for that. And the last thing is being under a telescope, that I find challenging as a Christian, because everyone looks at you as a Christian. How are you dealing with your divorce as a Christian? How are you coping with parenting as a Christian? How are you being around other people? How are you being around your children? How are you being around your parents? How are you being around the people you work with? Once you say that, there is like an automatic standard that is set for you, and that I have found to be challenging to constantly check myself. It's a level of accountability. This journey of faith is basically just accountability, and having that level of accountability ensures that you are constantly the absolute best, your best self for you, your best self for your children, and for the people that are in your life. My friends have been fortunate, and my children have been fortunate to constantly have the best possible version of me, because I have chosen to be obedient to the faith that I proclaim, and to be obedient to my God and to what I believe He's calling me to do. That means that I have found a level of integrity in my life, which is awesome. I know that I am trusted by the people in my life. I'm trusted by my children. I'm trusted by my friends. And they hold me to a certain standard. So, yeah, that has been my journey of faith. God has been amazing in terms of taking care of us. I have leaned on my faith a lot in terms of being able to keep my anxiety levels low, and not being able to worrying over everything all the time. That level of understanding that everything will not be accomplished by me, that I am not capable of doing all the things, but all the things will get done. And that is something that I would hope that you would have on your single parenting journey. So if you are not a person of faith, I would recommend that you seriously consider your single parenting journey, and how challenging it is, and how you are facing it. And I pray that you would understand that there has to be a power bigger than yourself. You can't be in all the places. You can't protect your children all the time, and you can't always give them everything that they need. But you have to be able to have faith that all the things that they need, they will get, and that eventually everything will be okay. And I found that that comes with knowing that there is a power greater than yourself. And I hope you found encouragement in that. Once again, don't forget to subscribe. I hope to see you in my next video, that you will be here to join me. Please don't forget to comment and tell me about how your journey of faith is going regarding your single parenting journey. I can't wait to hear it. I will reply to all the comments, and I will see you soon. Bye.